Hello and welcome to the Wild Wild West podcast. My name is Richie Riche of the MHRT Network. Over that away, we got Navban representing his Las Vegas Raiders. And you do note that DZ is not here. He sends his regrets, but sadly is not able to make it. And every Chiefs fan that I've had lined up for the show in the last little bit has chickened out. So this is my open invitation for any Chiefs fan that would like to actually show their face on the internet and represent their team. We welcome it. I think it'd be a great conversation to have with the Chiefs counterpart on the show. We've been seeking one out for a little bit, but we will proceed on until one comes on. So we have a super interesting show for you today. Decided to go in what some might call a different direction. Every other show seems on YouTube that they want to go, here's my 7-round mock draft, and kick up on the screen, and they talk about everyone they want to take in the draft. And we decided to go in the exact opposite direction. Literally spin it on its head. Why not talk about what positions we don't want to see our teams take within the different rounds? Like I don't want my team, for example, to say take like a quarterback in the first round, even though I don't have a first round draft pick, but points well received nonetheless. Nav, you might say I don't want my Raiders to take a fullback with their first pick, as an example. Just throwing it out there.
Right.
And so these are all things that we want to talk about today. Not only just position groups within the different areas of the draft, but also position groups in the draft at all, as well as players that, especially other pundits and stuff, are saying that we should take on our teams, and we might just say no, just no. So we will get right into it on the show. As always, appreciate the chat. Let's go ahead and dump all those comments in the chat. Let us know who you don't want your team to take. What position groups do you not want your team to go ahead and draft? If you would be so kind as to perhaps put an honest response for a different team as well, in terms of just play along for the evening. Okay, guys, it's only like 2 hours and you'll be fine. Let's just play nice for the show here, and say like who you think my Broncos should not draft in the draft, and we'll go from there. Nav, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I kind of agree with you. They're like, so right now, I mean, my pure focus really is in 1st and 36. So, and I guess you could kind of say, what also do you not want your team to do with that draft pick?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty dang obvious that number one's a no-brainer for us.
It should be.
Just based on the lack of movement in that regard, and what the big move they did make. And oh, by the way, to pay Kirk Cousins 1 point vet minimum walking through the door is an absolute no-brainer. That's just, and that to me cemented even more than it was already cemented that Mendoza is going to go like. It'll be dun, 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 and he won't even, the end of the song won't even happen, and Goodell's going to say the Las Vegas Raiders picked Fernando Mendoza. You know what I mean? There's no question. So that right there, I don't think is even in question. But what I will say is, if for whatever reason somebody in their infinite wisdom decides to Raider shit and go off script, and they say, no, I think Kirk Cousins our guy, I will tell you, if we back out of that first pick, I'm going to want 2 more. And I'm going to want whatever teams next year and the year following. So, and if that's the only way I would actually freaking even think that was made any damn sense at all. Because as Raider fans, I think a lot of us understand that we're not looking to win a Super Bowl next year. We're looking to improve, and we're looking to build, and we're looking to do it young. So, so the first pick to me is a no-brainer. But if it were to not be a no-brainer, it'd have to be an absolute boat haul. So that's my first thought on that.
Okay, so let's entertain your second scenario. Who would you not like? Let's just say, for argument's sake, just throwing it out there, that the Jets, who I think have 2 first-round picks,
Yes.
and let's say they give you the 2 firsts this year and a first and second next year. Like, I'm just using that as an example. Okay,
Right.
that would be a pretty good haul for your first overall pick.
Well, and also give me your 2 that you have this year.
No, that's just that. Give me the 2 in 26, so you
Yep.
get 2 first rounds this year still.
Give next
you
year's.
the next year's first and then
Yep.
next year's second.
Yes.
And I think that would be you'd have to entertain it.
That'd be if you're not married to the idea of Mendoza being your future.
Right.
And from what I see so far, I think the Raiders are pretty much committed to Mendoza is their future.
Right. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that your team does what I'm sure half of your fan base will just go ballistic over, and makes that deal with the Jets. Just at least make it a fair trade. I'm trying to present something that's like at least reasonable. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to play the role of a typical Broncos fan. It's like the Raiders could accept like a first-round pick and a 7th, and then they're going to trade away their first. It's like,
there's no damn way.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, and I heard that it was summer in Antarctica, and they're swimming in the beaches there. It's like, no. So anyways, let's just say you guys make that trade. Let's say you go in that direction, and let's say you then say, we believe that our team is stronger in this direction because we believe that at least Kirk Cousins can be our guy for the next year or two, and we'll have enough capital in, say, the 2027 draft to shake our way to get a guy that we think is going to be okay. All right, cool. Who do you not want to take in the first round if you don't get your quarterback?
So I guess it would be, it wouldn't be. I have a hard time with the strength of the O line in this draft. I would think it would probably be a defensive lineman more than anything. Like maybe
you're saying you don't want to go O line.
Well, I just think the strength of that will come later.
Okay.
I think you can do that later, but I think now here's the thing. I think Messidor is actually the better between the two, just because of injury history and that type of stuff, and also the sociological pieces of thing, the personality side of things. So, so my thought process is that if you don't go quarterback 1, but then let's see, Jets, what's their first pick? Their first pick is 4th.
It's
is that right?
Pretty close to the top. It's in that upper
and then
tier,
16th or something like that, I think.
Yeah, they have some the value in those picks is actually quite high.
It is.
Yeah.
Now I would be willing to say this straight up, that if the Raiders were willing to do it, the Jets would give up a lot for it. I mean, my God, you just got Geno Smith, bro. And you actually gave the Raiders a 7th round pick. And the thing is, if you just waited, we were going to release his ass. You wouldn't have to give us shit. I mean, how stupid of an organization can you be? So, I just don't, regardless of what I think, I just don't see that first rounder going anywhere, that first pick going anywhere.
I agree.
And now I see a lot of movement after that with a lot of teams at this point. I think the Jets are going to like leverage, if they're smart, they'll leverage those 2 first-round picks all over the place because they also gave up a lot. You know what I mean? Sauce Gardner's gone. You know what I mean? They damn near mortgaged the whole franchise.
Yes.
So they're in a start over. Is what it looks like. So that's, and again, next year, freaking Garrett might be available to whoever. So I mean, Garrett Wilson, that's a dude I would take right now. So that would be another thing. The Jets were to throw in there, hey, we'll give you a Garrett Wilson free of charge on his rookie contract, and then throw in, you know what I mean? Then things start changing, So it just depends on the mindset that the Jets are in. But
yeah,
I mean, the reality of it is I don't see the Raiders trading away that pick. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think it's even. I think it's foregone conclusion. Far too much real life stuff going on with what he's saying, what the Raiders are saying. It's pretty much I mean, damn, they've met with each other. I don't know how many damn times, or when it's actually legal to do so, and also, and we'll find out tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
I wanted to shout out to the folks up in there. Raider Paul, how you doing? Hey, I'm not at home. I'm in Indiana, so I can't scream Raiders for you, but I'll tell you what, I'll give you this. Raiders. And then, of course, Afkazi is in. AR's in the building. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Bourbon Country Raiders in. And I think I saw Jack G up there earlier. Good to see you guys. Let's see who else. Gabe Davis is up there. And then, of course, the King with the countdown throwing tomatoes at you. So, because you were late. So that's what he does for a living in Raider shows. He when you're late, you get tomatoes. So anyway, so what you got?
So, I think I agree with your general consensus there. I think it's going to be a quarterback, but I also agree that I think in my opinion, for what it's worth, I think that if you get that 5th pick in the draft, depending on who's left and depending on what other guys draft, an interesting pick for your Raiders could be a tackle, because your left tackle, while has proven to be a stand-up player for your team,
I agree with you.
I'm not even throwing any shade his way at all.
No.
He is getting hurt a little bit, and
Getting older.
He's not getting any younger. And so I think that if you're going in the route that we kind of hypothetically laid out of moving out of that first pick, I actually don't think it's a bad idea for you to look for your left tackle of the future. Or if you have a guy that's a can't miss right tackle that's there as well, that's not a half bad alternative in that 5th round pick territory. If like the best right tackle in the draft is still there or something.
But I think I would be with you on that if the Raiders had an intention to try to make a run at a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Sure. But I think
this year.
Yeah, but I think that and here's my counter to that, and curious in your thoughts, is tackles, generally speaking, take at least the 2 years to develop. So they come into the league raw. They're typically making some really bad mistakes. A guy like Cousins can actually accelerate their growth. Right.
And that's kind of not necessarily a good thing in my opinion.
Well, and that may or may not be true, but Cousins might accelerate their growth for you. And then if you double down and package some picks into the 27 draft to get your actual franchise quarterback in this scenario, then you could end up with a solid rushing defensive lineman on the interior to pair with Crosby to free up that middle section of the line
Mhm.
to allow Crosby to get after the passer.
Right.
You could then get your left or right tackle of the future in this hypothetical scenario.
Right.
But my number one thing for you to do by trading back is don't draft a quarterback.
Right.
Like, wait, that's the whole purpose. Wait till next year.
That's what it's going to have to be.
Yeah, wait till next year.
That would have to be the
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the other thing not to do in that pick would be to draft a silly player at a silly position. So like the best safety in the draft, or like the
But
best.
the best strong safety in the draft.
Oh,
We
sorry.
already have
Yeah.
we already have Jeremy Chen out there, and
Yeah.
we already have Palomar. Come
Yeah.
on, dude. We don't need a
But
strong safety.
no, but I'm just saying is that like there's certain positions that just don't necessarily have that first round, fifth pick or sixth pick
Big Raz.
like pedigree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that would be a silly pick for the
Right.
Raiders at that spot in the draft. I
I
think you
would
could do equally
I,
as well later.
I would think with that thought process, you were asking for my rebuttal on taking a right or left tackle in the first round in the event they trade back
Yeah.
off of Mendoza, right?
Yeah.
My thought process would be this: if it's going to be a replacement for our right or left tackle we currently have, then you can do that in the second round at 36.
Okay.
So, if typically if you get an offensive tackle in the first round, that is an expected day one starter.
Correct.
So,
and a franchise guy, basically.
Yes.
Yes.
So, my thought process there would be no, I don't think we would. I think it would be more of a defensive tackle, being that we're going to be in a 3-4, because the linebacker room is going to be a lot more important for Max now than it ever has been. Because one of those backers is going to be taking up space for him. So, and then the other side's Malcolm Kuntz, which showed at the end of the year that he was getting more healthy and getting better where we wanted him to be where we drafted him at.
Right.
So I feel like that defensive line is okay, but I think we need that dude over center. I don't like to call it a nose tackle. Me and Jack Kenna will freaking fight over this all day long. You can call it that position, say NT, but when he's drafted, he is a defensive tackle. So I'm just saying, nose tackles don't go to the Pro Bowl. Defensive tackles go to the Pro Bowl. So I'm just saying, back when we were younger, that was a position of note because everybody ran a 3-4.
Correct.
So, but in a 3-4, I feel like Max is going to be more on an island because it's going to be more of what those linebackers are doing to disrupt the middle to take pressure off of them. And I think Max is going to love it. So regardless if we do that, but if in fact we were to move off of Mendoza, I would say interior defensive line or the best slot corner in the draft, because we've needed a slot corner, nickel corner, you call it what you want. We've needed that dude, the shutdown guy for a while.
So on that defensive side, you would basically say no to inside backer, no to safety.
Yeah, strong safety, backside
or-
safety. No,
Well, you'd say okay to free safety?
no, probably not either.
Yeah, that's
Because
what I'm saying. It's the positional value is just not there.
because we got old boy from the Bills who's that guy. He's literally a free safety. He is the free safety. He's just,
Yeah.
and also he can be a slot corner too. So it may not be a big a need for the Raiders this year as what we think it is.
Yeah.
So
And so you're gonna say no to inside backer, you're gonna say no to free safety, you're gonna say no in your kind of realm there, no to tackle on the offensive side, right or left. And then obviously no to center because, like, for obvious reasons.
Right.
And then
So that would be if that takes us to 5, then we trade back from it, and we just go get Omar Cooper, a wide
yeah,
receiver at like 10.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now speaking of saying no and saying this is what I don't want, etc. I have heard a lot about this comment here from
Yeah.
Bourbon County Raider. It seems to be a unilateral, regardless of which vertical or team you follow. I'm obviously tapped into a few more teams than just my Broncos, and I can assure you that this is prevailing winds throughout the first round. Although, funnily enough, that talk kind of stops around like the latter part of the first,
It does.
which is telling me that the guys at the bottom
Yeah.
are wanting to just keep their their pieces close to the chest
Mm-hmm.
because they're thinking that that middle section is where a lot of teams might try to target,
Right.
and it's what a lot of teams are trying to trade away. And so I do think, Nav, let's see what you think about this. Yes or no? I think we're going to see a handful of trades into the middle portion of this draft,
Yes.
but I think that because there's going to be so many teams willing to trade out of that middle part of the draft,
Yeah.
that this will be the weakest trade market out of the first that we have seen in years.
I think we're going to see, no kidding, freaking restricted free agents and also freaking trade candidates on their teams getting traded away for draft picks at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So, like teams like the Jets, I see the Jets doing a lot of that. The projection over under on the amount of time it's going to take for the first round. I just saw this a little bit ago. The over under for how much time it's going to take for this first round of the draft tomorrow is the under is 3.5 hours.
The under.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Once I see pick 1 and 36, I'm pretty sure I'm going to bed because I have to work. So
yeah. So I think this is an interesting one. Talking about saying no, I think a lot of teams in that middle section are saying no to their pick in the first round,
yes,
and also wanting to get out of that first round of the draft as well. So thought that was interesting. Wanted to kind of bring that
yes,
up as a comment.
yeah. Berman made. He said that right when I was thinking it because that discussion was just happening on ESPN just a little bit ago.
Yeah. So I'm going to go into the Broncos.
Okay.
Now we already said we don't want our first round pick in a trade for Jalen Waddle.
Right.
Now, I was not a lone voice, but certainly one of the few that was not necessarily a huge fan of that move overall. Because while I think Waddle's a great player, and I think that he's got a lot going for him, I would much rather target a young wide receiver that can grow with Bo Nix, like that is similarly skilled to Jalen Waddle, is my kind of general consensus.
Sure.
And we saw this year at the combine, not that the 40-yard dash is the be all and end all, because it's not. The cone drills are really where you're getting a little bit more accurate sampling in terms of what
that in split time.
Yeah, in the splits. Yeah, exactly. But either way, we saw some awfully quick wide receivers at this year's combine, and I mean
I watched them in person.
Yeah, like it was pretty ridiculous, actually.
The verticals though. So I just wanted to mention the one IU player, D'Angelo Pons. So this dude's like all of 5'8". His vertical is like 48 inches. he he was smacking popsicle sticks that receivers couldn't touch that were 6'4".
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole place was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So you can be short, but if you can get up, I mean, it's
You have to time it, but you can still defend it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So yeah,
exactly.
100%. And so um my general thing is in the first round is I would have preferred, I think the Broncos maybe keep that first round pick, look for a younger ascending wide receiver that can pair with Bo, get someone that's cheaper,
Sure.
long term, build the team
Right.
out that way. I'm also one of those, you know, contrarian type guys, I guess, where I believe that the wide receiver position in the NFL right now is being devalued, in my opinion, because I think that while there are a few rare air guys that are at the very, very top, they are very rare air. Like, I mean, like a select few are actually worth the big dollars they're getting. And frankly, I think you could just go back and dip your toe into the draft in a couple years and get a guy who's just as good that you're probably letting go, in my opinion.
Right.
Very similar to how teams have traditionally treated the running back position in years of late. I think
Yeah.
the wide receivers are kind of turning into something. If we see kind of where we're going, I think they're going to start turning into something like it, in my opinion, with such a pass heavy college league. So,
Right.
um, pick one already gone for my team. So we can move on to round two. And
I'm gonna let you go first because my buddy's dog needs to get
yeah,
out.
that's
He's
fine.
sleeping, so
Okay.
I'll be right
So
back.
for me, um, in round two, a couple position groups that I do not want to see my Broncos target. That would be quarterback, obviously fullback, any of the major special teams positions, including kick returner or punt returner, and uh, outside linebacker. So while a lot of other teams in the NFL, other teams would call those edges for the outside linebackers, the Denver Broncos have a very deep outside linebacker room. And so, as it stands right now, I don't think we really need to target that position. We already have Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito, who are two of the fastest guys in the entire league getting off the line. And then we had Dondre Tillman, who was right up there as well, and Jonah Ellis, who had one heck of a season. And Q Robinson really started to come in to his own. And that's just covering the top five. We also had Garrett Nelson and Johnny Walker. Uh, yes, the greatest name of football player, Johnny Walker, will be on his, or at least Walker will be on the back of the jersey. He's a guy that was a really highly touted college free agent coming out of the draft, and I think he has a real shot at potentially making the Broncos 53-man roster because he was really flashing a little bit in preseason, or at least in the uh, activities. So outside backer, anything on special teams, fullback, and quarterback, I do not want to see my team target in our with our second round pick. Some other positions that I would not like to see as target with our second round pick would include cornerback, safety, and inside linebacker. I do not believe that the value is there at any of those positions in the second round of the NFL draft. Now, I'm just going to throw out just a few positions that I would be willing to because I listed a fair number that I don't want. That would be running back, tight end, and interior defensive line. Those would be the only two that I would be, or three rather, that I would be okay if my team drafted. Everything else I would basically not want my team to target or draft. And I suppose the only exception to those three would be if Concepcion was there at our second round draft pick. I think that he's a value player that if he fell that far, you'd probably need to take the flyer on him as a Denver Broncos because there does seem to be some grumblings that we're going to probably eventually be moving on from Cortland Sutton, and also some grumblings that we're going to probably let go of a couple of the other wide receivers in that room at the end of this season as well. So those are my general kind of thought process there in terms of who I do not want to target. Um, and I did give some just broader position groups to, not make it sound like I don't want to draft anybody in the second round. Uh, so I had 3 and then like a flyer fourth. So basically no position other than A, running back, B, tight end, C, interior defensive lineman. By the way, in reverse order, as of what I just listed is my personal preference. And a flyer would be if a specific wideout, for whatever reason, just dropped all the way down to the second round that fits what the Denver Broncos are looking for. And that would be a combination of size and speed.
I agree with you. I agree with you there.
So I have a pretty long list of what I don't want in the second round.
Right.
And that includes pretty much all players, basically, in those position groups, because I just don't believe the value's there for my Denver Broncos.
Yep.
So what about you?
I'm the same way. So now we'll flip the script here. Let's make the assumption Mendoza's the number 1 pick. So we're at 36. If McDonald, defensive tackle, drops to 36, that's going to be our next pick. There's no question, in my opinion, there. If what I don't want is a strong safety, I don't want a free safety. If for whatever reason the dude out of USC freaking is there, as that freaking nickel / slot corner, I think I'd be okay with it, but not like completely okay. I honestly think that defensive line needs one more piece. I wouldn't touch the linebacker room. I think we brought in a lot of young talent there that are already proven. I mean, a couple Pro Bowlers. I mean, shit. I mean, that played a lot of football games, a lot of meaningful football games. So I don't think linebackers really needs to be addressed there. Now, wide receiver could happen right there. I mean, if Omar Cooper is there at 36, I could see them doing that, because wide receiver 1 is definitely gonna be a freaking eye candy, no question. So, and then you get someone familiar with Mendoza's back shoulder style. He already knows. They already know each other. They already know how they operate. It's a matter of getting with the speed of the game, that type of thing, and that's always a good thing. I mean, Elijah Surratt will be later. So, I mean, that's there too. But I just don't, and damn it, let's not, just don't draft a combination for Genty. Let's not do that. Let's not get a running back at 36. I'll tell you what, though, Jeremiah Love's there. That's going to be hard to freaking pass up. I mean, because that would be a crazy compliment to Genty. That'd be like the first split back freaking shit you've seen in years. So I mean, I don't see Jeremiah Love even leaving the pick 10. I don't see that happening. But like a dude like Mike Washington or somebody like that's out in the 4th. Yeah, that's where that's at. Where the running back's at. So running back, no. Second round, no. Let's see. Strong safety, free safety, no. Slot corner, yes. Everybody's got different names for different shit. You know what I mean? Inside corner, slot corner, whatever the hell they are.
Nickelback.
I'll tell you what, you get cornerback 1, then now you have that dude to move down into slot corner already. You know what I mean? So the thing is, we haven't had that dude in a while. But Stokes, we re-signed him for a reason. The people weren't throwing his direction. They knew not to throw his direction. So I don't think I think we have cornerback 1. So I don't think we really need to do that. But if that dude's there, again, the USC dude, that dude's a freaking ball hawk, bro. But he does get beat when he tries to pick a ball and he gets freaking beat on a pump fake. But that's college shit. That can be trained out of him. But I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of, there's just certain shit. There's no need in where the Raiders are now, or we're not trying to win a Super Bowl next year. If you start going a certain direction, then you start taking the entire Raider Nation into a funk of where they have unreal expectation. And Kirk Cousins is not going to win us a Super Bowl. He's not proved he can barely win a playoff game.
Correct.
So let's just, just keep her down there. Kirk Cousins is there to freaking mentor a freaking brand new rookie quarterback who, by the way, just took a team that's never done shit in football to a national championship, won the Heisman, and undefeated season. I think there's only 3 players in the NCAA that's ever done that in their life. So, just saying, as a quarterback. So, it's when people say, "Nah, he's not the guy," dude. Look at the end of who wins those ball games when it's tight. Who's the one that wins the ball game? He's the dude that's always freaking taking it on him. That's what you need in football, in the NFL. You need that dude to put it on himself when it's on the line. And he's proven over and over and over again that he's up to the task. And he's not afraid of it. And he's a great, big, fairly mobile dude. Miami found out you can't stop him. If he's trying to get in the end zone, you're not stopping him with linebackers. It's just not happening. I don't know if you've seen that play over and over again. I'm sitting there watching 2 linebackers, one on one side, one on the other. They both smash him. Now, they should have wrapped him up, but they thought they were hitting a quarterback. And the dude puts a hand on the ground, keeps his feet, end zone. That's the kind of dude, but he's not Josh Allen. He's not running just to run. He's running because he has to. That's a different animal. You know what I mean?
See, that is the one thing that makes Josh Allen kind of different. Josh Allen will literally run into contact and run through contact, which is like that's like farm boy mentality. That's like that's a different beast.
Yeah, so
that's out there.
Cignetti said that run against Miami with Mendoza, other than a quarterback sneak, was only the 3rd design run he had all year.
But that's what you want. You want a quarterback that's not relying on it, because then when they transition to the NFL, they're not going to constantly be looking to jump out and do.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, I'm running.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of what you're not wanting and wanting combination there at the 2nd round draft pick. I already gave a bunch of what I did not want in the draft. Now, I have to go against the grain here a little bit.
Okay, go.
I want my team to potentially package together a pair of 4s and move back into the 3rd.
Okay, makes sense.
So
I know what you want too.
Really?
Yeah.
What would that be, Nav?
Pretty sure it's a freaking defensive lineman.
No, my preference for
Offensive lineman.
defensive.
A lineman, sorry.
No, my preference for. Well, sorry, my exception to this would be if all of the offensive tackles that are those developmental guys that I really like are
Yeah.
there, then I'd say stay in the fourth and just try to pair up, mix and
Right.
match of a couple picks. However, the Broncos, in my opinion, only have a handful of positions that we really need
Mm-hmm.
because, like I mean, really need.
You
And then the
need a really good running back.
funny
I
you
know
mentioned that. Funny you mentioned that. So
that.
I think that
I
we
was
should be
teasing.
going.
I was
Yeah,
teasing.
yeah, yeah. I know.
You know I
So,
knew.
so I think we should be going for value and need in the second and going after a defensive lineman, interior, someone that can get after the passer. I think there's going to be a handful of them that are going to be pretty solid left in that little sweet spot for us
Yep.
there in the second. And then ideally, we would package together maybe a player and a pick. There's a couple we have available. Move into the third
Yep.
and go ahead and get ourselves a running back on the offensive side of the ball.
You know who I think that I don't know if you've looked this dude up, Mike Washington.
I like him, but he has a drop percentage rate that concerns me a little bit.
Like catching the ball,
Um,
like receiving.
no, I think it's rushing the ball. I think he had a drop percentage that was like quite high given the number of carries he had.
Yeah, but he had I mean his yards after contact are always positive,
Yes, they are.
regardless of what it is.
Yeah,
So that just tells me the offensive line just was terrible.
yeah. So he
He gets opened up, he's gone.
yeah. So I don't mind him. He's certainly a guy that I kind of like, but if he's not there, or even if
Trash dog, what's up?
even if he is there and another guy is there, and this is me, I'm not saying it's what my GM's gonna be like. I'm saying this is what I am gonna be like. I really like Katron Allen.
Yeah,
Um, I kind of see Katron as the heir apparent to JK.
yeah,
Like it's one of those things where we were talking on the show about last year's Chargers,
yeah,
where they had those two running backs that were kind of like the same.
yeah,
That's a huge benefit to any team where you have a guy that's almost interchangeable that can come in and
yep.
out. And I think that Katron can learn a lot from JK. And I think that if we're going to spend the money on JK, we should allow another young running back to learn from someone like him
Well,
and get a young guy that is similarly sized, runs through contact, can pass catch, can pass pro, that kind of stuff, and get a guy who's bigger bodied, 5'11", 220, basically.
right.
And I think was he a 4.5 or a 4.45? Is somewhere in that range.
Who's that?
Katron.
Oh no,
I thought he was a 4.5.
Katron Allen.
I thought he was somewhere in that range.
No, I think he's 4.41, 4.40. I mean,
But he was my point is that he wasn't like a 4.6.
right.
He
No,
was
no, no.
he
I'm
was
with you.
he was in the like probably shouldn't be running that fast for his size,
Yes,
like like
agreed.
like like
I
spot.
watched him. I
Yeah.
watched him. I watched him run.
And
So
so and Washington was like the lightning in a bottle guy, right? So
yeah,
I'm not even gonna, good for him is all my comment. Good for him. But
and you know what's crazy? Mike
yeah,
Washington never ran track.
there's a bunch of dudes that come into football and they have similar stories. And every year there's at least two or three guys that just like blow the doors out the combine.
Yeah,
And then the media and everyone else is like, no track for real?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
never ran track?
yeah,
How the
like
hell did you get off that fast?
yeah. Well, no, not only that, how did you get off that fast? And then number 2, how did no one at your college not pull you aside and say, "So,
Bro, you're
like,"
running into fourth twos, man.
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I need you on my sprint team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, in terms of guys that I don't want, or sorry, I'm proposing guys things that I don't want to do. If we're not going to go and draft an offensive weapon in the 3rd round, I do not want to trade back up into it.
Right.
And if we're not going to draft a difference maker at the position, then I don't want to trade back into it. So those are my, you know, ceiling or my bar there.
Hey, can you click that last one that just popped up? What the donkey is going on here? Hey, AOC 12. You're probably going to be QB3 this year, so just sit back there, relax, and calm down. The thing is, what the donkey is going on here, when people see my show pop up, they're expecting it to be my show.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, this is their show. This is the Wild Wild West. It's usually at least 3 of us. DZ got
Yep.
stuck in traffic, so he's actually living Charger life right now.
Yep.
Towards North Carolina. So he's actually in traffic. He's not able to make it, but usually there's 3 of us because we can't get a Chiefs fan with enough balls to come on here and talk AFC West stuff with us. So if any of you guys know a Chiefs fan that has the balls and is respectful as we are to each other, please let Richie know. At Richie Rich is right there on his description. Or shoot me an Instagram. Let me know. Hey, I got a guy. So
And now just to jump in there, DZ apparently had what could only be described as a prototypical Chargers event or season, as it were.
Yeah.
It started off great,
Yep.
and it just went downhill as the drive continued.
Every
And
single cog started falling out of the
yeah,
machine.
yes,
Like after week 4, it was
exactly, yeah.
I mean, you lose both your tackles, both Pro Bowlers, within 2 weeks of one another, and then Omari and Hampton,
Oh,
your
and Hampton
star
got hurt
running
too.
back, gone, same time frame.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. What?
So DZ's drive apparently has gone something similar to the way the Charger season went.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he may or may not be able to make it on near the end of the show, but he again, it was pretty funny.
What do you mean drop top? What Chiefs fan did I block? What Chiefs fan you talking about? Do you have a name? Did I block him from my show?
We've had a couple on here. Zigzag, who I actually rather like a lot of his comments. He's pretty good. We've had a couple other Chiefs fans that have jumped on here. Now there was one that was spamming the chat a little bit that claimed to be a Chiefs fan, but I'm not necessarily sure that he was a Chiefs fan because there were certain comments that were being made that were, we'll just say, incongruent with being a Chiefs fan.
Oh, drop top's throwing the freaking bomb out there. So you do know about my live show where I had an open link in the chat and people were popping on. Somebody popped on there and I didn't even add them. They were in backstage. I didn't even add them, and suddenly they pop on, and it was very obscene. I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, not like I saw some boobs or I saw a unit. Way more obscene than that. It was like not X-rated. It was like quadruple X-rated. I could not get to the ban from studio button fast enough. Yeah. So that's what Drop Top's talking about. And if you ever see Rosetown on here, Rosetown will actually give you the exact time that it happened within the video. It has been deleted, by the way. Yes. And YouTube has deleted him. So
that's my third round for my Broncos. So I'll throw over to you. Now, if we don't do anything, then my Broncos do not have a third round pick because we again traded that for Waddle. So I'll throw over to you and talk about what you do not want to do in the third round for your team.
Not really. I really don't have a don't do.
Oh, really?
Because that point is depth. I think it's going to be a depth piece. I think that third round, if we don't do anything on the offensive line there, that third round is going to be where it happens. And then I do believe this is a third or fourth round. We have 4 picks. I think it's the it's the third round. We have 4 picks. So we have 3 straight up, and we have a comp pick as well. So it's going to matter on what that team chooses. It's either third or fourth. We have 4 picks.
Fourth round.
Okay. So that third round, I think that's where you can garner that offensive tackle that's got the hands, got the length, got the height, got the speed, but doesn't necessarily honed yet. I'm thinking anything Wisconsin, Ohio State, Iowa, love those schools when it comes to offensive tackles. You know what I mean? I think that's a good spot for that. Now, what I don't want, I don't want to overload the back end of the defense. I don't want to just go, just grab the best safety available, grab the best corner available. If we're gonna get corner, let's go rich on it in the second round. But if we don't, then that's another thing you can do. I just don't like it. With the build that we have in place, we're not looking to win a Super Bowl. Why would you? Because next year we don't intend to be as bad as we were last year. So we'll be, when everybody else is quarterback hunting, we'll be cornerback hunting. You know what I'm saying? So those will be available, whatever first round pick we have, if that's what we absolutely have to have to move to the next level. So I don't like that at all based on the roadmap that I'm seeing that they're doing. Staying young, not trying to necessarily freaking kill the world next year. You know what I mean? Taking a slow approach, nice and easy, good free agent moves. Hell, we spent every damn dime of free agency we had when we had a lot of. So, and they were smart enough to hold on to enough just in case that max deal didn't go through, so we can pay our rookies without going over the cap. So, perfect. And they got Kirk Cousins for 1.3 and still did it. So I have all the faith in the world in this front office at this point. I really do. So I don't have any really don't do it third and beyond, because I think it's going to be a depth thing at that point and development. To be honest with you, I hate to be boring, but that's my answer to it.
So my Broncos have a pair of fourth round picks, and my comments are the same. I don't want a fullback. I don't want a quarterback. And like you, though, my I don't want to do it list starts to
Shrinks.
significantly narrow. I would even consider an outside linebacker there, even though we
Yep.
have the depth, even though my team doesn't really need one at all. But if you have a dude that's a massive value that's there that should have been taken in the second or something, and he's there in the fourth or fifth, then like I don't care if that's a team's strength or not. Make your team better and see who wins, and then trade him. Right? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like if you got guys in your team that are going to be like a second rotation guy, a team will give up a fifth for that, right? Like you're not going to get anyone better in the fifth. You got a
Right.
proven NFL player that has shown to be a good rotation guy. I'll give away a fifth round pick for like
Sure.
a guarantee. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
for sure. And so, like you, I'm kind of in a my list has dwindled at this point. Um, I wouldn't want to pick a certain type of player. Uh, for example, I'm going to be a little bit more picky about injuries with the Broncos in the latter rounds of the draft because other teams that really need a guy have then passed on him.
Yep.
And the Broncos aren't necessarily that needy. And so I would maybe wait and see anyways as like a UDFA and take a flyer on him that way kind of deal.
Yep.
Um, and I do not want anyone on the special team side.
Yep.
So
It's similar to what I'm thinking. Anything in the once it's fourth and beyond, it's going to be more of a character and injury history pick than anything else.
yeah,
Because the Raiders are doing nothing but in free agency character. They're bringing character and they're bringing talent. They're not bringing anybody in that's a problem. That's
yeah,
been a problem anywhere. You know, so I mean, Linderbaum was huge. That was
yes,
monstrous. I
yeah,
mean, and it also took it from AFC powerhouse, which is good for everybody in the AFC. You know, I mean,
yeah,
so you're trying to make Lamar better, right? What'd you do? You just took his center, one of the best in the league,
yeah,
and gave him to an AFC team. The fuck are you guys thinking? Sorry, I just threw an F bomb, but it's after 10 minutes. I guess I'm good.
yeah. So now, just to kind of round out the show here just a little bit, I have a couple guys that I've been looking up here that a lot of the pundits have been uh, linking to my Denver Broncos. Um, I'm going to list off a couple guys that I don't think my team should be drafting in this draft just based on other alternatives that would be potentially available in
Right.
other rounds of the draft.
Okay.
Max Clare,
Yep.
the Ohio State. He has been mocked to my Denver Broncos like everywhere. I don't want him. I think that he's kind of average across the board, and I think the Broncos need someone that is a little bit better than that,
Yeah.
uh, given what we are trying to do and trying to accomplish. I don't want Davison, and if you think I'm pronouncing that dude's last name, you have another thing coming. Starts with an I, and then it's got two consonants together with no vowel in between, which is no, don't do that. Anyways, it, basically violates the language laws that I grew up with. So, so with regards to him, nothing against him as a player. It's just it's a position and a player that I just don't think my team needs. And unless that we're going to be trading away, say a guy like Riley Moss for picks,
Yeah.
it's a position that I don't want us to draft someone higher. You know what I mean? Like it just makes no sense. Now, uh, other guys that I am not huge fans of. Uh, Most of the other guys that I'm seeing on all the lists and stuff, I actually am okay with. Uh, it's just those couple of guys. Jacob Rodriguez, I think, is good, but I have a hard time going after a linebacker that isn't an exceptional sideline to sideline guy. Like, and I mean like elite. I'm just not convinced that he is um, that elite sideline to sideline guy
I'd
that you want.
I'd be all day on him in the fourth. All
Well,
day.
if he's available in the fourth,
Right.
then that's a different. But I just think
All
someone's
day.
going to take a flyer and
Yeah.
draft him early, and I'm
Right.
just not sure that that's like a smart move given
Mhm.
like linebackers are getting bigger and more athletic, just like wide receivers are getting
Right.
more athletic as well. And
Right.
so I just think that
But character wise, he's high character.
I
So
agree.
what I'm
I
saying
agree.
is that I could see the Raiders doing that in the fourth, just because of the character.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying like we have Singleton, we have Sternad, we have uh
I can hear you.
Ch-
I'll be right back.
we have Corinne Reed, and then we have I think his name's Hunter. And so we already have four guys that I kind of like. Now we don't have the fast sideline to sideline guy. Sternad is close, but he's not really that guy. But do you really want to spend like a third on a linebacker that you don't know if he's going to fit or not or
Right.
something? Like I don't know. I see it as a risk for a team that is close enough that I think it might be too big of a risk to take because then you're throwing away potential talent if he doesn't work out.
Well, and somebody the other night I popped on, we're making a good point. I think part of your team strategy is like, what is your division strengths as well? And the division strengths against the Broncos is the tight end room. You know what I mean? So the one thing that is going to hurt you from the Raiders is the tight end room and the running backs out of the backfield, right? The RPO and the 12 personnel stuff is going to hurt you. So
Yeah.
having a dude like Rodriguez out there is a dude that chases down that stuff. You know what I mean? And from what I noticed, the one big thing that the Broncos had a problem doing is tackling over the middle.
Yep.
So they gave up way too many yards after contact in the middle. So they weren't getting beat deep, obviously. You just don't get beat deep. You're not going to get beat deep. But you can just get picked apart. And that's what happened to you towards the end. That's really in reality. So I think a dude like Rodriguez, what he shows to do is he's able to freaking take the ball away, and defend against those tight ends over the middle, those slot receivers that are on slants, that type of shit. He's got real good instincts about the ball coming across the middle. So that could be a situational dude. And again, like I said, if he falls to the fourth round, that'd be a good pickup. Third, no, not so much.
Yeah, the challenge I have is the other needs on the team. Like
Mhm.
where we really struggled last year was a meaningful tight end that could break out but block as well as pass catch like a combo.
Right.
Ingram didn't really do much to speak of on the
Right.
team, so he was kind of that was an unfortunate pickup kind of guy on the team.
There's a pretty damn good tight end in this draft.
Yep.
Shadiq. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be probably one of the first dudes he's going to be in the first, I think, in my opinion.
I think he'll go early in the second, just because the tight end is not really like. I looked across all the teams, and the only two teams that I saw that really had a need there was you guys and I think Seattle, as far as contenders were concerned.
Do you know who I think might take Sadiq?
Who's that?
The Chiefs.
They probably will.
And
they're batting what, 16th?
yes,
Yeah. I mean,
I could see them doing it because they
that'd be a
brought Kelsey.
clear indicator that Kelsey's going to be done. Yeah.
But they brought Kelsey back. He can be a bit of a coach on the field for a young guy.
Yep.
Kelsey's at an age where he's going to want to have like a legacy of some sort that he leaves behind above and beyond his bling that he's got on his fingers and whatnot. You heard him talk to Gronk, and as much as everyone likes to hate on Kelsey, like he's got a reasonably good head on his shoulders overall.
He does.
Like
he does.
overall.
Yeah.
And the way he was talking, it reminded me a lot of how I heard Gronk at that that end of his career sort of thing. You know what I mean?
It's like, the dude actually has some fucking sense.
Yeah. Well, look, let's put it this way. Gronkowski had this reputation as being a dumb oaf. I can tell you right now, he is
very intelligent.
Yeah, he is anything but a dumb oaf. Okay,
right.
like he's a lot of other things. A dumb oaf does not meet the list. Okay,
right.
It is not on the list.
Right.
So, and then so for me, just generally speaking, if I'm talking about in those rounds, I don't want us to take auxiliary players when we have needs now that would contribute to a win now. I would rather package picks up to move up and take fewer players,
right,
but have them be quality. Or if we get value guys that are awesome and Katron Allen, if he falls to the fourth,
oh my god,
take him all day long, right?
Absolutely.
So
would I.
Justin Jolie would be another tight end that I think fits what the Broncos could need, for example, that combo guy. As an example. But I wouldn't want to take a tight end in the 4th or 5th just to grab a tight end as an example.
So, Mike, what do you mean? They who?
Mike is the main host of the Mile High Monsters podcast.
Okay, so I mean, I think they do.
He's talking Broncos. He's a Broncos guy. He's
yeah. There's no question. You guys definitely need a tight end.
Yeah.
But you need that combo guy. And the one thing I can say that I have two of that the Broncos don't is two guys that can block and catch and run routes and RPO and all that. That's the one thing the Raiders have. Probably the best tight end duo in the league.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I can say about the Raiders. I don't think there's any two better. And I'll challenge you if you guys want to go there. But I mean, I'm just saying that is a deadly combination. Those two dudes, when they get rolling, Mike Mayer can drop in the backfield and block for freaking Genty, and that's going to happen a lot in this offense.
Yes.
They don't. I mean, that fullback we got. A lot of people in here aren't old enough to remember who Ironhead Hayward was. We have his son as a fullback. We got him in free agency. His son is our fullback. So I'm just saying. But the thing about it is, I did have a thought that what people do, it's kind of like a credit card, right? So what people want instant gratification, right? So we have 4 fourth rounders. We have 4. We have 3 in a comp pick.
Check the private chat, unless there's another one that
Oh,
isn't listed.
wait, we gave up one of them.
Yeah.
We gave up one of them for Naylor.
You
We
have
got Naylor from
102,
the Vikings.
you have 102, 117, and 134. Those
Yeah,
are your
we gave
three
up
fourths.
one of the fourths for Naylor
Yeah.
from the Vikings. Okay, so all right. So 2/4 for next year's second. People want instant gratification. If they really want a player, say, okay, we'll give you 2/4 for your next year's second. I'd be okay with that. Considering what we have, it's really all bunched in, and it's more of a filling needs and depth type thing in this draft. So one of those, we're going to be needing more second rounders next year because we're not going to suck like we did last year. So we're not going to be in the, we'll probably be 15 or higher, my guess. We'll be in the middle of the league at minimum as far as record. So if we can take 2/4 and get a second next year, I'd do that. You know what I mean? Just because we really don't have that much more to fill. And we have a lot of unproven players from last year that need more freaking looks. So I can see with 3/4, just getting one fourth round pick wouldn't hurt us a bit this year. Because again, the roadmap is we're not winning a Super Bowl this year. You know what? If we do, it's a fucking act of God and it's freaking great. And I just mean good coaching, good front office play. We're going to try to win every game we can win. But damn, just really, I don't see a lot of needs across the board. You know, there's a lot of unproven players already on the team.
So my take on the Raiders a little bit is where the Broncos were before Sean Payton came in.
Yep.
Is the team is better than they played.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in large part because your coaches played either guys out of position or didn't play them in the right scheme
And
or
move them
yeah.
weekly.
And it was just a combination of all that kind of stuff. So I think you're going to see just naturally an ascension of the team just by more competent coaching.
Oh yeah, no
Or at
question.
least coaching that's not willing to just like bounce stuff around.
That's what
Now,
I said. I said the same thing. Don't
yeah,
change a thing,
yeah,
and let's not even have a draft. And just by the coaching staff and the front office,
yeah.
we get 2 more games. We win 2
Now,
more games just because of it.
I do think that you're going to have some surprises, as every team does,
Yeah,
as they transition from like one style to another.
yeah,
So, like maybe one of your safeties turns out not to be the right guy or right fit for what your team wants to do.
right.
Uh, maybe a couple of the linemen that looked halfway decent at least showed flashes in the Carroll like combo platter there.
Yeah,
Maybe they don't look as good in the Kubiak style of play,
and
and
that's
that's
okay.
fine. And that's fine. But I'm just saying is that this is the year where you're going to find out what works.
Yes.
This is the year you're going to find out who works. And
Yep.
so you may have more needs next year than you think you
Then
might.
this year.
Yeah, than you think you might.
So
And
might be
or
might be it might so what you're I'm trying to preempt this. So you're kind of agreeing with me that might be in our best interest to freaking get what we can out of the draft, out of the picks we don't need this year.
maybe, but I have the flip side to that same coin. If you've got a guy that's there, your fourth round pick. I'm using this as an example because it's what you gave as an example to trade away. And let's say you have legitimate questions about who the best guard is going to be for your team.
Okay.
Or maybe there's a tackle there that you guys really like that you think is better suited at the right side and could make a swing tackle for you guys this year or something as he develops or whatever.
That's
Like,
perfectly fine.
but the point is that there's going to be a couple positions that even if you have a guy there today, like Rogers as a guard for
Yeah.
you guys,
Or
looked
Grant.
or Grant looked good last year when they played the limited amount. But what if they don't fit Kubiak's system? What if they don't look great? What if they
There's
don't take those leaps forward?
Look, there's a lot of what ifs, and
But
you said it best. This is a look and see season.
right.
So
But
if it's a look and see season, so let's set ourselves up for success for next year.
Right. And here's what my point is there. If you like a guy in
Yeah,
this
you
year's
get 'em.
draft at the 4th round or whatever, that's like a depth guard, you pull that trigger, get him on your team.
You get 'em.
Like bring him in because
But
you can't even teach like that extra year of experience that guy's going to have on your roster.
I totally agree.
And so
But
that's where I'm going with it.
But what I'm saying is people like in the draft, 2 fourths equal a second or an early third in the draft because people use it like credit cards.
Yes.
I will give you 2 fourths for a second all day long.
Yes.
For next year in the situation we're in. But that still leaves us with that one, which would be the first one. So if that guy's there that we like, we get him. But we certainly, I think we certainly should be willing to trade those other two for next year and maybe even come out with a player on top of it, because that's how crazy these dudes use credit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So, oh shit, this is Mike McCarthy. Yep. Look, you're not the first one to say that. Just saying. Hey guys, while you're in here, look, you got me at 93.9 Man and at Rich A. Make sure you guys subscribe and like. Helps us out a lot. Appreciate it. Go with both channels. Get both channels up because we got both channels streaming now.
Yeah. It's a huge benefit for all of us to like the video, share that kind of stuff, and it makes a huge bit of difference for all of the channels getting out to other fans, both of our respective teams, but also just getting the show out to a broader audience. The one thing that I have noticed in the last little bit is we get a lot of fans of other teams coming into the show now. We were getting Giants and Dolphins, and we're getting a whole plethora of
last week. Eagles, Cowboys.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking Eagles, Cowboys, Giants were all in at the same time. They must have just ended a show. We're just looking for more football.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Cream.
Well,
cream corn enthusiast. He's a cream corn enthusiast.
I have so many questions.
I know.
I have so many questions. But
what is it? Can I ask him?
Yes.
What is a cream corn enthusiast? Can you please put it in the chat there, please? What exactly is a cream corn enthusiast? I don't mind cream corn. I can eat cream corn, but I love corn. I love corn too. I'm in Indiana right now. I have to. So.
It has the juice.
It does. Corn on the cob's the best, though.
Yes.
I wear that stuff out, bro. I wear that out. Butter it up, a little bit of salt, just rip it.
Yeah. So I live far enough away from like the big city and stuff where basically come mid-end summer, it is nothing but cornfields and all that stuff
Yep.
near me. And you could pretty much drive by most side streets and pick up corn from wherever. So
Yeah. So I just went by a place on the way home from work, and it was a dozen ears of corn for $5.99. Sweet.
nice.
I was like, yeah, I'm stopping. I had to turn around, come back. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
give me 2 dozen.
yeah. I typically grill it.
Yep.
That's my thing. Uh, Funny story. I think I may have told you this, Nav, but some others in the chat may not have heard it. When I was young, I was in my early 20s. I bought my first house. It was a townhouse with a balcony. And when you buy a house, at least here in Canada, I don't know if it works the same way there. The builders here give you the base appliances, like the cheapest crap you could ever find. They're like, it's like, you know, garbage stove, garbage
Yep.
fridge, like and a garbage dishwasher. So I was there, and I looked at the stove, I looked at the stuff, and I said, well, the fridge needs to be opened up and do its thing. And I was like, I could live without touching the other two appliances, so I'm not going to bother.
Right.
So then my girlfriend comes over after I've been living in the house for almost a year at that point, and looked at my stove and said, "Why do you have the blue film on it still?" And then said, "How do you eat?" Because
Microwave.
no, and she goes, and she goes, "And you don't have a microwave on the counter either." And it's like, all I did was just point out to the balcony. I literally grilled every single meal on the barbecue that was
There's
on the balcony.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So if that didn't indicate exactly the type of dude that I am, that pretty much tells you
Right.
all you need to know. Uh, I
Right.
made bacon and eggs. I made pizza. I literally
Hey,
grilled everything.
I'll tell you what, the Blackstone I got,
Yeah.
I can cook anything on that. I'm breakfast, lunch, and I can do breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a Blackstone all day long. So, hey, so you guys in the chat, we were talking about cream corn. If you guys don't think we don't interact with the chat, we're talking about crying out
Yeah.
loud and eating
Yeah.
and stuff. So that's a good reason for you to, when we're done talking about football, we start talking about eating because we
Yeah.
all like eating.
Yeah.
So what's your
So
favorite? What's your go-to, Richie? What's your go-to if you gotta have it right now, and you have an hour to eat it? You have an hour. You got to cook it and eat it. What is it? Then you got to go.
rack of lamb.
Nice.
I have an hour.
You have an hour from right now. You got to cook it and eat it. Give me a three course piece. You can do in an hour.
I do homemade garlic bread. I can do rack of lamb. I could do the potatoes on the grill too at the same time, and then I can just slap together something as a dessert if I needed to.
Nice. That's what I'm
But
talking about.
and
Yep.
then I'll also do depending on if it's lamb or beef. I do a cream peppercorn gravy.
Nope. Nice.
I
Nice.
don't do that with lamb. I do that with beef.
Nice.
So it's pretty solid.
Yep.
And
Me.
I have two barbecues.
Oh yeah, me too. I have
Yeah.
and the smoker. I have my Blackstone. I have a regular barbecue grill and a smoker. So for that hour, I'm going to be real good about it. I'm just going to go to the meat grinder. I'm going to throw a couple sirloin steaks in there and freaking make sirloin burgers. and I'm going to make a bacon cheeseburger real quick. And I'm actually going to make macaroni and cheese just straight out of the box, and just cover it in freaking shredded Parmesan, and then probably a baked potato. With a
Nice.
whole bunch of sour cream on it, and I'm rocking. I can do that in an hour and eat it at the same time and be on my way.
Nice.
Yep. That'd be my go-to 1 hour deal where I need to really freaking chow down because I had to be at work for like 8 hours or something after that.
Yeah, the other one that comes as a close second for me is I'll do truffle parm fries, steak frites,
Yeah.
and I do that on the grill.
Yep.
So the fries are done on the grill, and so is the steak.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty solid. It's a go-to of mine too.
Yep.
So, um, are there any let's put it to the chat. I haven't heard any names come out of the chat for your respective teams. Chat. You've all seen mock drafts. I guarantee it. If you spend any time online at all in the last like week, they are
Yeah.
they are inescapable. Are
Yeah.
there any guys that you have seen crop up for your respective teams?
Put your team first,
Put your team
then
first,
a
and I
name
want to know. I want to know the name of the guy that you keep seeing go to your team that
and the
you're just like,
position.
and the
And
position
position.
that you're just like, no, I
Right.
don't want it.
So it, like, for us, for me, it would be Raiders and the guy you don't like and the position.
Yeah. So we gave like intermixed guys. I kind of listed off a few myself that
I got bugs on my screen. I'm trying to read the chat, and there's bugs climbing on the chat. Yep, bugs climbing on the on the chat, dude. You guys better hurry up and do something.
so we got
Cream
two
corn
Raiders guys.
enthusiast dinner at Navman's. Some guy named Mendoza. Yeah. All right, where's Big Raz? Big Raz, would you say about 50? Wait. No, what we're saying is somebody you don't want us to draft. Put your team. How about just R or B, and then say, "Oh, Stowers."
That's an interesting one. So Dom, why?
Yeah.
I'm just curious why. Now I'm gonna hold off on why I think you might say why to see if you actually say it. But I am curious as to why. Because Stowers is a guy that is intriguing, depending on how the team might want to use him. And I will say, if the Broncos do, yeah, that's exactly it. That is the only reason why not to go with
Yep.
Stowers.
Raz, I got you on that one too. Big Raz, yep. Denzel Boston. So I lived in Washington for 21 years, Washington State. So the Huskies, they have a real bad track record with wide receivers. So regardless who the coach is, their wide receiver one is a freaking track it down the field guy. Not good route runners at all. Now, Boston does have pretty damn good hands. I will tell you that. He's not Thornton. He's that we already have. He does catch what's thrown to him, but he's also getting freaking scripted throws to him. He doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't do anything. He goes to a spot and catches it. Raz, I agree with you. I don't want him either. Denzel Boston, nope, prefer not. Yeah, separate. The thing about it is Jerry Rice didn't have great separation either. So you can't just throw the separation piece on it. I mean, Jerry Rice didn't separate from anyone, but he's probably one of the greatest that ever lived. So,
He was a tactician, though.
yes. So, but the thing about it is Boston can't separate. And the one thing Boston has is great freaking hands. He does not drop a football. So, which is a great thing as long as he's coachable. But you just don't take him at 36 because you're not looking for a coachable 36. You're looking for a freaking movable 36, like Omar Cooper. You're looking for a dude that's already established, and especially if he's going to be with the incumbent quarterback that he knows already. I agree with you, Boston. I'm not interested.
So we got Jarko coming in with he's a longtime fan of the show. Thank you for joining us again. His no dice player is QB Ty Simpson. We
Yeah,
already
I
have a
agree.
QB, and
I
I
agree.
agree. I agree too.
100%. I look. The thing they keep saying about Ty Simpson is like, well, he really didn't have an offensive line. Dude, it's fucking Alabama, bro. Yeah, he did. Every one of the offensive linemen were freaking All-Americans. Every single one of them. You can't say that. It's like, well, he only threw one pick until he didn't. He started throwing more of them. Okay. And he fumbles all the time. He decides to run with the football and he fumbles it. He's another freaking Jackson Dart, except for the only problem with Jackson Dart, he doesn't fumble. He just gets concussions every time he runs with it. It's kind of the same game.
Yeah, and so Dom here just continued the tight end discussion here with regards to the Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
He said he'd rather trade for Laporta than Pitts.
I'd
That's
take
an incorrect.
Laporta. I'd
I
take
like
Laporta over
I,
Pitts all day.
yeah, I like Laporta as well. Now, so here's the question, Dom. You have Laporta in a trade where you have to give up capital to get him,
All right.
or you can get one of the other tight ends after Stowers.
Right.
What direction do you go in? Do you go for a slight unknown with a high upside at a lower cost? Or do you go for the draft capital trade to bring in Laporta, also knowing that you're going to need to pay him?
Right.
So I'd be super curious as to thoughts on that because, that's the position you're going to be in, right? Like that's what you're going to have. So,
Right. Well, and Big Raz, if you put that one up there for Big Raz's last one, I feel better value wide receivers further back, rather get defensive tackle corner or free safety. No, I don't think free safety. I have a problem with that. Free safety at 36. I don't. A slot corner, yes. Free safety. I know there's a lot of terminology where a lot of people. I want, if we get a slot corner at 36 that is the best one in the draft, which is the kid out of USC, to be honest with you, and he's their cornerback one. He's freaking sizable, he's fast, and he's freaking great. I get that. But the thing is, if you think about it, the last thing I want is a safety of any type. We have all the safeties we need. Okay. I believe Stokes is our cornerback one. He's our shutdown guy. Okay. And I think he proved it last year. So the thing about it is, defensive tackle, I agree. I think McDonald's going to be there at 36. Don't mark my words, but I see McDonald being there at 36, and I see us taking a defensive tackle. I do see that happening at 36. Corner, yeah, like I said, defensive tackle or corner, I think at 36. I think that's where we're going. Jark. Jar Chaco says, "Man, I'm doing something right." Yeah, you're doing something right. None of us. I don't think hardly anybody likes Ty Simpson in this deal at all, even going into first. But to be honest with you, everybody, all the big dogs, have him going to the Jets in their first pick. So I'm just saying, I think it's fourth or fifth round or fifth pick. I think.
Yeah. So it's interesting how there's not even a consensus, right, within like the various fan bases, right? You got, you know, free safety, strong safety, cornerback, whatever. It's interesting how. So here, let me put it this way. Do we think that this means because there's no meaningful consensus, at least idea, that also in some regards means that like the Broncos are not doing a good enough job of communicating out to their fan base their vision and or style?
Because I firmly believe the Raiders front office has made it very clear to us. Let's not have any unreal expectations. We're going to do all we can to make this team better, but it's going to take us a minute, and it's the first time we've heard that. Big Raz, look, I want you to chime in here. It's the first time in 2 decades we've heard a freaking front office go, look, we're going to build this team. We're going to build it from the ground up. And to be honest with you, they've done a hell of a job freaking accelerating and free agency. Acceleration is not even that's not even a good word. But those 2 linebackers made a huge big deal. That was huge. Those 2 dudes bringing 2 Pro Bowl young linebackers in there. I mean, one of them's an All-Pro. Nakobe Dean's an All-Pro. I don't know how in the hell we fucking stole him. I was like, damn, we got both of them? You know what I mean? So, and we already had one linebacker that was ready to rock. So I'm like, damn. So the Raiders have made it very clear. Look, let's not have any unreal expectations. Pete Carroll walked in last year and said, I've never lost more or won less than 10 games in my life. Guess what? Yeah, you have now. You don't walk in the door like that to a franchise that's been struggling. You walk in the door and you improve year in and year out. You get better. Not everybody's the Commanders. Look what happened to the Commanders last year. They had to rise up and then they jumped off a cliff the very next year. So you can't build a team that way. You can't just like mash in talent and expect to freaking go to a Super Bowl. And if you do, you're probably going to lose anyway. Yeah, I'm with you. Ron Raspberry. It's Ron Raspberry. Ron, I agree with you 100%. I am stoked about the way forward. I actually might see a Super Bowl in the rest of my life. It was one point where I didn't think we'd ever see another Lombardi. Now I'm actually thinking there's a way forward. We have a young front office. We have a young coaching staff for the most part. The older dudes are more mentors than anything else. You know what I mean? Everything's young. And as long as we stick with it, I think we'll be okay. Fernanda. Fernando and Kirk Cousins, Jesus, they're going to be dimes. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
He's like, you're going to be throwing the ball all over the yard, basically.
Not at the same time.
That would be different.
Yeah. Oh,
Actually, do you know what?
yeah,
I don't even know what
before.
I don't even know what that offense would be called. I've never seen it.
Yeah, Nick Foles. It's the Nick Foles offense.
No, but like 2 quarterbacks in the backfield. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah. So Michael Vick and whoever his backup was, they were split shotgun. I can't remember who it was. Was it Terrell Pryor?
Yeah, but what do you call that personnel grouping?
I don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. Like what? Like that's like you know it because it's like the first time you've ever seen it.
Yeah. So Michael Vick was on the right hand side. It was almost like split backs in the shotgun.
Yeah.
Nobody in between. And the backup, I think, was Terrell Pryor. And the center snapped it to the middle, and Michael Vick either chose to grab it and run with it or let Pryor get it and throw it or run with it. With the Falcons, it was absolutely freaking insane. The defense didn't even know what to do.
Yeah. I think that's true, actually.
Going to be a run first. There's no question. And to be honest with you, Linderbaum is the reason. Because now there's no question where JPJ is going to be. He's going to be either right or left guard. It's just going to depend on which way Genty prefers his primary running style on that A gap. So, because I'm 100% sure they want JPJ in his primary A gap. So,
yeah. So, are there any other players that the chat would like to put in down that you do not want to draft?
Do not want to draft based on your team.
Based
but
on
you
your
say
team.
what your team is. By the
So
way.
let's see the team and the player that you do not want your team to draft. And if that is, we'll give you about a minute or two. We've kind of given our spiel. We're trying to give you a chance to kind of give us yours, and then we will close out the show.
Yep. I'll be right back. Puppy's barking again.
I agree with this too, Big Raz. Your offensive line struggled a little bit last year, and that was a challenge, right? Because it was a combination of coaching and scheme. But now you have a good coach, likely a good scheme. But if you're lacking the depth on that line, really, in my opinion, and that'll be an interesting one to see how you guys solve it in the draft. And also on your with regards to Miller, there are very few teams that have a competent backup left tackle. Very few.
Yeah, and I think if something were to happen to Miller this time, I think Grant would go over there to the left side. Pretty sure.
Yep. Awesome.
But we'll see more in the preseason on Rodgers and those dudes. Rodgers definitely an interior offensive lineman. I don't think he moves from that at all, guard one side or the other. But Grant's way more rangy, way longer arms and that type of stuff. So I mean, we may be able to see something from this dude when he gets a lot of he's going to be getting first team reps this year, so we'll see how that goes. Yep, and Raz said it best. You're not too sure. Who's not too sure about Jeremiah Love?
Broncos.
What? Well, first of all, you're not going to have an opportunity at him, but and let me explain something to you quick, plain, and simple. This might be one of 3 times that 2 players from the same team go in the first round. And Jeremiah Love was the better of the 2. This dude, he's like Saquon Barkley with like Tyrone Wheatley size. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Tyrone Wheatley, but the dude's big and a truck, and he runs through tackles. And his running mate at Notre Dame, I think Jordan Price, that dude is also probably going to go in the first round. That only 3 times I think it's happened. It was like Darren McFadden and Felix Jones and maybe one other time that one college team had 2 running backs in the first. It's very possible it happens again. Yeah. But I mean, it's the one thing Notre Dame had was a running game. No question.
I just don't think that the teams are going to value the running backs as highly as we think they are in this draft. I think that there are a lot of very good D tackles. I think there's a lot of very quick wide receivers in the upper tier of the draft.
Sure.
And
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a possibility looking at where the draft is going.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some teams that really need a dynamic, like game changer running back. So
now the saving grace though is the MVP of the Super Bowl was a running back.
Oh, I know.
And
that's a game changer for that. That's a game changer for the running back room. And he got traded.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a plus and it's a negative. It's like,
yeah,
you can be the Super Bowl MVP and still get traded the following offseason.
The same offseason basically as the Super Bowl.
Same offseason.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. I like the Styles brothers, Jarko. I think they're both pretty darn good players. Obviously, I think one's just a little bit better than the other, just in terms of athleticism and NFL readiness. But
Sony's the better of the 2, I think.
Yeah, but when you come from a competitive family like that, which obviously it is, like you don't get 2 brothers that are NFL ready. Like
right.
It's like almost unheard of. It's not unheard of. It's almost unheard of. You're pulling from good genes, and you're also getting a very competitive player. So both of those guys are going to be willing to work. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of what happens there.
See that right there? Rosetown right there. Look at Rosetown. 4840. He knows the exact time the quadruple X-rated thing happened on my show. Told you, look for Rosetown. He'll have the exact time.
So I don't know if I should be concerned or concerned.
No, the thing about it is I deleted it. It's completely deleted. Nobody can go back and watch it or anything. It's
no, I meant I don't know if I should be concerned because he knows it so well.
No,
or if I should be concerned because it's left such like a scar.
He's just trying to flip me crap is all he's doing.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's all it is.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
All right, man. Hey, I'm good, man.
I think we're good. We think we covered everything, so we're going to wrap it up now. We are going to close out the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 week closer to the NFL draft. We've kind of covered a 5 round mock draft last week. We've done like a who we don't want to draft on our team this week, which I have not seen another show do like a who
Yeah,
don't you want, and I thought that was a cool concept for our show here.
that's good. Yep.
And then we're gonna have the misinformation Olympics coming out this next week here. So believe almost nothing, uh, and come in with a healthy dose rather of skepticism, because
Yeah.
this is smokescreen season to say the least.
Oh, this next week's going to be
Yeah,
smokescreen all the way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're gonna hear like this team's trading away their star player in the draft, and they might go back and double dip and do,
Right.
whatever. It's gonna be all sorts of nonsense, right?
Yep.
So
Hey, can I real quick? My boy, LA Crash Dog, he's a retired Marine, and he does work for a cause called SaveAWarrior.org. Okay, SaveAWarrior.org. What this is you can help veterans out. Several of us are veterans. So LA Crash Dog is an advocate of Save a Warrior, Save a Warrior, one word, .org. If you want to help veterans, that's the place to do it, because it all goes to veterans. There's no administrative fees that gets taken out of that crap. None of that stuff. If you want to spend $1, $5, or just send a comment saying, "Hey, love you guys," that all goes to the fleet, goes to the veterans, goes to all that stuff. SaveAWarrior.org. It's one of those that every dollar you give them, it goes to the veterans, goes to the active duty, goes to police officers, it goes to all first responders, goes to all that, it goes in a big pot of money, and it gets divvied out. Nobody gets paid on this stuff. That money you send in goes straight to those veterans, first responders. It's one of the best charities ever. If you're interested in giving to a veteran, that's the one you do. And he will tell you, when you do it, just say, "Father Tom sent you." Father Tom sent you. So there
So
you go.
that'll do it for the show. I'd like to thank everyone, including LA Crash Dog and all others. Um, Jark, thank you for joining the show here. We've had Dom, who interacted with us really nicely on the Bronco side, which was great. We've had a bunch of back and forth here in the chat, which is always awesome for the
Yep.
show. And if you or anyone else know of a Chiefs fan, we are actively looking, so please go ahead and let us know.
Me too.
Next week will be a little bit more of the draft, because if I'm not mistaken, coming up right after that show is the draft. So we're
Next day.
gonna,
The
yeah, the
next
next
day.
day, yeah. So we're gonna get right into it and start digging into all the different stuff. I'm so hoping, like, I'm gonna let it be known right now. I'm so hoping by the time our show goes live on Wednesday that the bomb drop of one of the NFL prospects happens before the show. Like, we all know exactly what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
the dude that got caught hotboxing in the parking lot, or
Mhm.
you know, the dude that was like sleeping with his teacher, or something
Yeah.
like that. Anything that's like, the thing. Every year there seems to be one. I'm curious to see what this year's draft like bomb is going to be. Uh,
There's gonna be one.
there has to be.
It's happening.
There is too many cameras in today's day and age for something not to happen.
Right. And
Look,
then and then
there's
when
too
he
much testosterone
yeah.
plus too many cameras, and
And
it
then
will always equal great footage that will cause problems.
they get to Pittsburgh on Monday. All the draftees get to Pittsburgh on Monday. And they have to like troll around Pittsburgh for like 4 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sweet.
See how that
Um,
goes for you.
and Mendoza won't be there. So just saying, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Mendoza told the NFL, no, I won't be there. I'm going to be doing this with my family.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the number 1 overall pick has ever been sitting at the house. So
she got
that's kinda
fired. She won't be there.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm ready.
Anyways, let's close it out.
Hey,
Everyone
Raiders.
next week, where the West Side's the best side, we'll see you.
Zon,
Peace.
I saw you.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast's racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.